global economic strife, environmental waste and disasters, crime and uncertainty on the rise. Are there any solutions? We may have found one. Green jobs, Bay Area and beyond. In our exploration of green jobs, we felt that we needed to first ask the question, exactly, what is a green job?
Really, that's a funny one.
I imagine Obama was speaking about more like solar panels, I guess like recycled water.
Anything that's going to help preserve our natural resources.
I work for the railroad and we use solar panels at work to charge batteries. And we use the batteries at night to run our equipment.
I guess a green job could be something involved with protecting the environment and in trying to improve present situation.
We gather at a challenging time for our country. We face an economic crisis unlike any we've known in a generation. We've lost 4.4 million jobs since this recession began. We need some inventiveness. Your country needs you to create new jobs and lead new industries. But we've seen the consequences of this failure to take responsibility, this failure to seize the moment. We can allow climate change to wreak unnatural havoc, or we can create jobs preventing its worst effects. We can hand over the jobs of the 21st century to our competitors, or we can create those jobs right here in America.
I'm Garrett Fitzgerald. I'm the Sustainability Coordinator for the City of Oakland. Where we are here in the Green Building Resource Center, the GBRC, this is essentially a little nook right next to the planning and permitting counters within the City of Oakland. So anytime someone wants to build a new building in Oakland, they can just pop over here to the Green Building Resource Center, where we provide all sorts of ideas on how to green your building. Making a building a truly green building is certainly easiest when you're doing this at the outset. Where am I going to put the building? How am I going to orient it? Can I orient it toward the sun? What kinds of insulation will we use in the walls? Where will I put the windows to bring daylight into the building? It's amazing in a typical building as we're constructing it, how much stuff we throw out. And an awful lot of these materials, whether it's wood, concrete, steel, etc., is often carted off to the landfill because folks think that's the easiest thing to do. In reality, it's not all that hard to capture an awful lot of that waste material, send it to recycling, etc. Separately from that, when you have an existing home, an existing building, there's a lot that you can do to make your existing facilities more energy efficient as well. Solar is a great technology. It's probably not the very first thing you should do. Focusing first from a cost perspective on things you can do that reduce the need for using energy in the building. So let's use efficient lighting, let's maximize daylighting within the building, these kinds of things. If I'm owning a home and I think I'm going to be there for a while, it really makes sense to think about those opportunities and to make some investments. The City of Oakland actually, several years ago, adopted a civic green building ordinance. So all of the buildings that we build, the major buildings that we build, have to be green buildings. The City Council is contemplating adopting a policy that would require green buildings for private development as well. A lot of the newspaper articles that you see about green jobs are about solar, are about wind power. We think it makes sense to take a more expansive view of what's a green job. Installing solar panels, absolutely a green job. Installing wind turbines, absolutely a green job. But all of those folks that it took to make the solar panel, that it took to make the wind turbines, those are green jobs too. We've got to deal with this problem with climate change. What's our responsibility and what's the goal that we're going to set for reducing greenhouse gas emissions locally? We do this here locally. All these other cities around the country are doing it locally. It all adds up. We're not going to assume that state and federal policy is going to get us out of this climate problem. We're going to adopt some policy here and take a lot of action here locally because frankly, the sources of greenhouse gas emissions are local everywhere. It's people driving cars, and that happens in our community. It's energy we use in our buildings, and that happens in our community.
Now that we have a definition of what a green job is, we felt that it was important to hear directly from an organization that has been on the front line of developing green job opportunities for people. That organization is the Ella Baker Center.
We started in response to police brutality and misconduct here in Oakland, moved into the area of prison reform, particularly around the California Youth Authority, now known as DJJ. Moved into violence prevention work here on the streets with a focus on youth, and now are expanding and growing our Green Collar Jobs campaign. We define green collar jobs as jobs that are quality, meaning that they provide a living wage, there's room for upward mobility, career advancement, but they're also entry-level positions. So for people who are, say, coming out of prison or people who haven't had a job in the past, they have an entry point into the green economy. We know that not one organization, not one sector can create climate justice, environmental justice, green jobs on their own. So we work with labor, we work with green businesses, environmental organizations, and community-based organizations together in partnership to create these solutions. I think the economic downturn that the country has witnessed has really opened people's eyes to not only the economic crisis, but also the environmental crisis. When young adults are trained in industries such as solar installation, energy efficiency, and green construction, that's an incentive for businesses to locate at the Bay Area, which then creates more jobs. The work that's done by these kind of sectors actually saves residents and businesses money. So doing energy efficiency retrofits, saves on your energy bill. Solar installation, same thing. Green construction, the long-term savings are significant. I'm really excited about the green jobs movement, about the green economy. At the same time, I know that solar panels aren't going to save the world and aren't going to save anybody's lives. What is going to save the world is how we interact with one another, how we value one another, the kind of opportunities that are available to all citizens, to all residents.